Good morning, everybody. It is 7:17 on March 28th, 2018. We only have a few days left in this month. And right now, starting off a little early because we have GDP numbers coming out, and GDP is always a kind of a big mover in the market. And it's a number that we like to be flat on. Don't like to really participate in it unless we've got some long exposed positions already, and then that's kind of a different scenario. We are kind of observing just some of the kind of natural ebb and flow moves that we get inside a lot of these markets when we get into this kind of economic release data. I want to take a peek at this is the JXY. This is the yen index, and look at how much that dumped over the last hour. We're almost looking like we could be forming a head and shoulders pattern here, and the dollar index has caught up a nice bid here. Structurally, this is pretty healthy that we've come back into this arc and we're not selling off here. Of course, that could, who knows what happens during a GDP release, and that's coming up here in about 12 minutes. It gives us a little bit of an opportunity to kind of go over some of our other trades and just kind of analyze those for a moment. Where are we at? Find my on the portal. So we had a few yesterdays. We had a few trades yesterday, and those were, kind of related to the pairs that we've been trading quite a bit on. Our first trade that we discussed was we wanted to go long on the dollar yen on a pullback to 105.66 or on 105.44. And so if we look at the time yesterday, when we were talking, we were floating right above this 105.73. And then all day long, we pretty much kind of sold off from this fib line here, and we came all the way down, and we got into our 105.66 was bought here. You know what? Actually, when I pull up our Ichimoku, and so looking at our Ichimoku, what do we have going on here? Well, we traded down. We got to 105.66. It's kind of an aggressive rebuy, and then we came all the way down to the 144 zone. We actually kind of traded down to the 130s, but that's fine. Really, we came down to that 618 retracement, and that it's always surprising how often that holds up as a short-term support zone or reversal zone, and got that bought up, and we stopped here, kind of drove up a little bit more. So that was a good trade yesterday, definitely well into profit. We're about 70 pips into that, and we are kind of experiencing probably somewhat of a short squeeze on the UJ now. And again, we've been talking about having a long bias on this pair. I think we're a little extended right here. I think shaving off a little bit is pretty healthy, but the move is quite extended in the morning. But you know what? UJ can move in massive percentage moves. It really can. It can move in some really wild directions, and we are coming off of some very oversold conditions on the dollar index and on the UJ pair, and we have this long bias, so cool sitting around here and waiting. The next one was pound. We wanted to go short on a pullback to 141.44, and so we were down here yesterday morning. We traded up, and we did get it up to 141.44, but then we just kind of accelerated our buying, and we got, we did actually get back up to 122 to 142. So if your pip tolerance, if your loss tolerance wasn't very high, if your stop was pretty close, this is probably in a range where some people probably exited their trades. But if you look at your composite index and your RSI, we probably could have re-entered a short there. This behavior here is so indicative of what happens in the afternoon. So we got to here at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then we had just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours of really low volume kind of buying, and that's kind of a signal that something's not going to last for very long. It's kind of a little extended a bit. So just kind of hindsight. But again, or if you held onto it, we're just slightly above that range, so we're just kind of sitting around here and waiting, and I'm still very short on this pair. The New Zealand dollar, and actually I created a new indicator and strategy. I've been working on it for a little while, and I'm going to figure out a way that we could get this shared to subscribers. I think that's something that could be of a benefit, especially if you can't make it in the morning and you can't watch these videos. My indicator that I created, it's got an accompanying strategy. So where am I at? Where is this? Indicators. My scripts, and I want to find. Wait a minute. Just finishing with Quintus Quintus strategy. Okay. Give me a moment. I gotta really wipe out some of these. I think that's the right one. Yes. Is it? Yes. Okay. And it's effective on the 50-minute too. On the hourly, you're gonna get some like extended ranges. Anyways, checking back on our trades here. So the pound dollar, we went short at a pullback to 140, 144, and then on the euro pound, we wanted to go long on a pullback to 187.58. So yesterday, while we were talking, we had this kind of thrust down, and then we just kind of traveled down here, and we wanted to wait till we got to 87.58, which we did get. And depending on what happened, you could have, we could have traded, either, significantly lower to hit some people's stops if they only had them set at really, I've learned in trading Forex that a 25 to 30 pip stop, actually even up to a 50 pip stop, is a guaranteed way to lose a trade. Trade with 150 pip stop or no stop. That is, I do not trade with stops anymore. Really, I don't. I just don't. Yeah, I figure that if I'm really confident about the trade that I'm taking, I'm willing to suffer whatever, kind of whipsaws happen in the meantime. I mean, think of it this way. I'll get back to that. No, I'll do it right now because I'll lose track. If we look at the dollar yen and looking at it on the weekly, okay, and just looking at this beautiful setup right here, and looking at how, we're in these great buying conditions. And even if we look at it on the monthly, very nice setup we've got going on here. But looking at it on the weekly, and I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, okay, well, what's my stop? Well, if we got into a trade at 105.45, or let's say like I have trades open at this level up here, like at 106. Actually, I have them at like 106.90 something. I have trades open up here, and if I know that over the next period of months and weeks, well, not months but weeks, that we're going to be trending higher, and I wanted to make sure I got a fill within this value area at the high end. If I have a 100 pip stop loss, I would have got stopped out. If I had a 200 pip stop loss, I would have been stopped out. If you have the longer your time frame, the longer your, well, certainly think of it this way. If you have a trade that's going to be it's going to play out over a period of days, your stop has to be pretty large. At that point, your stops are just going to be mental stops. You have to think about what are the conditions during my time frame that I would no longer be bullish or bearish on this trade. What would change your mind? So just got to kind of think of that and be aware of that as we're getting into these kind of situations. Now, oh man, UJ is just rocking up there. Got a bit of a short squeeze going on here. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, Euro Pound. Got that here. We did that one. New Zealand dollar. The Kiwi. What do we got on the Kiwi? We wanted to short on a pullback to 728. And we're not quite in that region yet because we're looking at up here. Did I really say 728? Why would I put that all the way up here? It seems a little, I think I might have written that wrong. Maybe I meant 72.28? No, I don't know. I don't know what I meant there. We're entering selling conditions on the hourly. Here probably maybe shortly because what do we got going on here? Okay, remember, let's get rid of these here. What are our conditions for selling? Okay, now we got GDP out, and let's see what we got going. Let's watch UJ first. UJ is, ooh man, that is shooting up. The pound dollar, not much of a move. Euro dollar, that is thrusting down here. UJ may just be on like a one-way trip to the moon today. We'll have to see. Surprising, I'm looking at the euro dollar and the dollar and the pound dollar. Not a lot of activity going on here. I need to get up another. Get crypto. Actually, let's see what our numbers were. GDP was 2.9. Wow. Previous 2.5. Consensus was 2.7. That was a beat. 2.9 is a beat. So that is a good sign. Like to see that. Now let's take a peek at where am I at? Oh, we were looking at the New Zealand dollar, right? Okay. That's a good short. Actually, this signal came up to short. Yeah, this is a good short. We better blah, 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 blah. I need to, dang it, I didn't have this pulled up very easily. So looking at this on the hourly on the New Zealand dollar, my signal shows up here to take the short. I'm going to take it. But what are our conditions for taking a short here? If you don't want to take this signal, if using the Ichimoku is kind of breaking the rules here. I need to stop doing that. I'm not doing you guys any favors by doing that. But so I'm looking at the chart, and what are the conditions to go short? Price needs to be below the cloud. The cloud in front of us needs to be in the color of the direction we want to go. The conversion line should be below the baseline and below the cloud, and then the lagging span should be below the cloud. We don't have that condition yet. The only condition we do not have met yet is that the lagging span is still inside the cloud here. It's below price, which is good, but we just want to wait for it to come down below. I have a sell signal here. This is a strong selling signal, and that's actually, yeah. Well, that's good enough for now. Okay, now taking a look at the other pair, Aussie dollar. We wanted to short on a pullback to 77.18. Yesterday when we were talking, we were trading around the 77.09. We wanted to wait till we got up to 77.8. We really pretty much totally did get right up to that zone, and then we came back down, which is really nice. We are in a pullback trade here because we're facing some resistance at the baseline. Lagging span is still below price. Conversion line is below the baselines, and the cloud in front of us is still that color. The only thing that's making me think, hold on a minute, let's not get ahead of ourselves, is that when I look at the oscillators, I have bullish divergence here. I have lower lows in price and higher lows in the composite index. Not a huge divergence, but it is there nonetheless. And I have that similar structure in the RSI. So I want to be careful about this because, looking at, and if some of you have been holding the shorts on the Aussie dollar from way back, a couple of weeks ago, I mean, this has been one of the best trades of the year. We have nice, actually, if I'm looking at this on the daily, that's awesome. So we're going to probably get another short opportunity based on the daily chart here soon, because we literally just busted out of the cloud on the daily chart. So that's that's important. Okay. Swinging back over, taking a look at, let's take a peek at gold. Gold, boof. You know what? Why do I have two? That's weird. Yeah, I'll leave. What do we got going on here? Product price index is unchanged. PPI. Okay, now we're getting some selling in our dollar pairs. Okay, let's take a look here. That's euro dollar. We want gold. Gold. So, yep. Oh man, nice tops there. Shoot, you know what? That would have been nice to get a short in on there. Dang. Missed that one, guys. Oops. Don't like that. Okay, but on the hourly, ooh, we're getting a buy signal on the hourly, though. Interesting. We'll keep our eye out on that one. Okay. Now let's take a peek at the euro trade, what's going on here. So euro, we had a little bit of selling going on. Looking at the hourly chart on the euro, what's our activity? Well, we have some signs that we're going to start trading lower. And what are those signs? The cloud in front of us is pink, and the lagging span is below price, but we're not below the cloud yet. The conversion line and the baseline are about to bust down below. So we have a pretty good a sign that prices are about to weaken in the euro-dollar pair. All right. Quick look at the dollar-yen again. You know, some selling from these highs, totally normal, should be expected. I mean, we are very we're very extended in the hourly chart. The RSI is certainly in overbought conditions, and so is the value of where price is relative to the baseline. You know, we're about 40 pips above it. Again, remember, think of the baseline like if this is the baseline and this is price that moves up and down, and there's a rubber band. Damn it, I wanted a rubber band. When price extends, it wants to snap back. You know, it just or if it gets too far, it's just gonna snap and keep going higher. So we want to watch out for this. Now, this fib line is drawn from this swing high to this swing low, or this swing low to this swing high, and we have really kind of busted through a lot of these retracements. And a popular area for price to get rejected is at the 1618 here. So that's going to be a difficult zone for price to cross. But if it does, bullish as hell. But if we want to go from, the next swing actually, which is probably going to be the more important one here. Yeah, look at that. We're sitting right on that 786, and then right above us is that 886. Now the 886 retracement is very important. That is a very strong reversal zone. Okay. Now taking a peek at gotta stretch. Pound dollar we are entering great short opportunity with the pound dollar here on the hourly. We're almost below the cloud on the lagging span, and we are below the conversion line and the baseline. They're just kind of floating in neutral here, and we've got a weak clouds in front of us, but we are pink, so we do have some short bias opportunity entering here on the pound dollar. So just want to make sure that this is still okay, and it is. Aussie dollar, probably not going to want to look at that one. Pound dollar, I want to look at these with our Gann as well. So the euro dollar, what are we looking at here? Well, we're kind of sitting a little flattish around here, and almost looking at oversold, but kind of flattening out here. Getting rejection on the 618 fib line, and return to value in the arc, and unable to really break above. On the cloud with the euro dollar, again, we're looking at that shorting area. So we're probably going to want to wait to short until like 123.77. Because that'll give us enough time to extend down to this zone, and for the lagging span to probably at least break down below. That's what we're kind of looking for to happen. And we got more alerts coming up. Trade balance is shockingly negative. Did you know that we have a trade surplus with our neighbors to the north in Canada? Anybody who should be complaining, they're the ones who should be complaining. I don't even know why we tax each other's stuff. Well, I know, but, whatever. Okay. Wholesale inventories worse than expected. Blah. No matter. Okay. Moving on. UJ. Let's take a look at UJ. What do we have in operation? So, very nice move. We're pretty much back to the value area we were last week. Really, a week ago. we were trading in this area at noon. Wait, it was this 1 o'clock on the 21st. This is where we were trading. We're kind of back into that zone. Really kind of bought that back up. This is a prime example of what's called a cup and handle. Okay, it looks like a teacup or a coffee cup. And then, it moves up. Okay. That's the behavior. That actually, like, what the behavior is that that's the structure, but the actual kind of technical price action behavior is that, when you have a cup and handle formation, what you're experiencing is you have a double top, okay? You have a rejection on that second top test, and it comes down, but then within about 50% or less of the move that happened between these two tops, you get a third test here. And then if it does break above, then that is very bullish, because when you get to a triple top, especially when the second and the third are the distance in time is not very far, the third test of that high needs to show a clear break to the top. Otherwise, if it gets rejected, it gets thrown down really, really fast. Really, really fast. We can see, not really seeing an inverse, but actually, yes, we do. I'm going to be kind of little generous with that kind of structure here, but we have kind of a cup and handle formation here. This is the inverse of it, okay? So we have a bottom established, and then we have a second test of that resistance zone, and then we have really we could say right here, we have a third test of that resistance zone, and it didn't break down right away. And notice what happens with the candlesticks. When you get there, not a clear break after the first, a few hours here, and then it just reverses. So it's telling us that there's not enough strength to break to the downside. And that's where you can look at your oscillators too, because the oscillators will give you an approximation of, what is the conviction of the buyers here over the last few trading periods. Okay. Moving on, looking at the pound dollar. Pound dollar. Now we have a pretty strong trend line here. We have a pretty strong channel, actually. If we take a look here, well, I don't know if you want to call it strong, but it has certainly been existing for a while. An approximate. And we're getting an inverse head and shoulders formation here as well. Where was the high here? Yeah, probably. All right. That is playing out. New Zealand dollar. Oh, wait. Let's go check you out on the cloud. So on the cloud, yeah, this is going to be a little bit easier idea to find where to short, because we'll want to short on a break below the conversion line here. So the pound dollar, we'll short at probably break below the baseline, 41.33. All right. Looking at that from here, what do we have? Well, we are going to experience more than likely some short-term support right on this arc. This arc has been acting as a pretty good support zone, but when it breaks below and it can't hold it, it will more than likely collapse below and maybe bounce a little bit on this support before it falls down. Because if we look at this, you know, we're in these oversold conditions on the composite index, and we're not divergent. That's good. If we look at this on the 4-hour, 1 minute. Where was that? Okay, yeah, if we're looking at this on the 4-hour, you know, we see we have higher lows, but look at down here. We're looking like we're not getting higher lows really. It's looking like we're kind of flattening, or even we may get lower lows in our oscillator and higher lows in price. And if we do get that, if we do get higher lows in price and lower lows in the oscillator, then that is a sign of hidden bullish divergence. And that shows up when? During an uptrend. That's on the 4-hour. It remains to be seen if that would cause us to have a short-term bounce where we might ping-pong around in here a bit. But we'll just have to keep our eyes out for that. All right. Now, let's go back to the 1-hour and the 1-hour cloud. Yeah, looking for a breakdown below here. In fact, why don't we take a screenshot of this? And I want to update my trade journal. If you have a hard time updating a trade journal, like I really need to do better on mine as well. TradingView sometimes turns into my trade journal. There we go. Put you over there. That's the pound dollar. Then New Zealand dollar, our trade on the New Zealand dollar is actually working out pretty nicely still. You know, we took a short right up here because we were looking at it based on the Ichimoku system on the cloud, falling down nicely. Very, very nice. Aussie dollar. We could have taken that trade, but you know what? If it doesn't look right, don't do it. So it didn't look right, and I didn't do it. We're getting close to a pretty strong support zone here. So this pivot, look how this, you know, this is the power of harmonics, harmonic price levels, not harmonics like Gartley's. Those are powerful too, but this is an inner pivot in the dollar, or the Aussie dollar, US dollar, and you know it. When it came down to it, really this would have been a really nice long scalp because we were in really extended conditions here, and we really had an easy kind of move here to go to buy for a scalp. Would have been a nice scalp too, from 58 to 73, maybe even or 87 actually. 56 to 30 pips. Take it. Full lot. That's $300. Cool. So that's what's going on here. We're gonna have to watch to see what happens below. We are getting a little divergency on the hourly here. You know, the probably exiting a lot of those because I have a where's my Aussie dollar idea? It's somewhere back there. Okay, let's look at the euro pound. Euro pound, taking a peek here. Okay, We've got our Gann square still active in here. Make sure that that's in the right place. And faced some resistance on this angle and near that 87.76. This is looking like what's called a bear flag. And that's probably going to play out here soon. Let's look at this on the Ichimoku system. I want to look at over here too. Intermid support failed to hold. Oh, that's short the crap out of that guy. Let's make sure our entry would be all right. Okay, yeah, we'll probably want to wait though. So probably, you know, the cloud in front of us is actually kind of green here. It will eventually turn red, but it's still green. And the conversion line is below the baseline. We're inside the cloud, so we don't do anything. And the lagging span is trading with amongst the candlesticks. It's not below it, and certainly not outside of the cloud. We're really looking at the 87.20 zone as a short zone, probably. Only if lagging span below cloud. Cloud ahead is red and price is below cloud and conversion line below baseline. Got it. All right. US dollar, Canadian dollar. Ooh. Hello, long opportunity. Oh, well, that is an important zone. Now, going to go back to this. This is a new structure that I built, and I went over this in the video that I just started kind of constructing this type of chart. It's kind of an amalgamation of various different experts and their designs and their various methodologies of trading geometric structures. And this one's mine. I came up with this. But it's not original in any way. But it's just, I made it look different. I don't know how to explain it. I like to think it's original even though it's not. But notice how price is respecting these arcs within these squares. And we're up against this arc. However, we are not in an overbought condition as we're getting up to this. We are not in an overbought condition. So to me, that is a good sign. I want to look at this on the cloud here. What do I got going on? Actually, let's look at we want to look at the other clouds too. Inside the 8, below the 4, but you know, really not that much. And we're above the 1 hour again. So I want to look to see what my conditions for going long are. Is the lagging span above the cloud? Yes. Is price above the cloud? Yes. Is the conversion line above the cloud? Or is the conversion line above the baseline? Yes. Is price outside of the cloud? Yes. All of those conditions are met for going long. And so I think we should probably take a long here. There's a part of me that's like bleh, but there we go. I took that trade. Okay, so we've got those in. Let's take a look at some other pairs. The Aussie yen pair. Yen showing quite a bit of weakness. looking at futures, they're kind of just flattish. The Aussie yen is not doing so hot against. If the Aussie dollar is not doing hot against the yen, and the yen's experiencing a lot of weakness, then the Aussie dollar must be doing really crappy. Dollar Swiss. Oh, hey, that is a short on the hourly. To see how that plays out here. So, you know, when my signals pop up and it's during a big news event like this, the trade is still correct based on technicals, and it will probably play out. It's just probably not the right time for the entry. So just keep our eyes on that. But yeah, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 trades in 5 trades. There we go. 5 trade ideas. We have so I'll kind of review real quick what we got going on here. That's playing out. Dollar yen is still hovering above 106.12. That's healthy and good and should keep it up. Pound dollar playing out nicely. Yeah, we should have a nice fallout in price. Again, another kind of throw up in price would be great. New Zealand dollar, that short is active and working. Aussie dollar, no, we don't worry about it. Euro pound. It would be a while before. Okay, you know what? Actually, we do have a couple areas that we could get short. We're really looking at 87.11. And or we'd have to get back above here, which would be probably 87.83. Is what I said. Okay, cool. Take a quick peek at our cryptos here before we bounce. Cryptocurrencies, oh man, bloody. There's my crypto chart. So, looking at this from the daily, and here's our long-term support line, long-term uptrend line. Right now it's sitting at 69.43. And we are right on this arc. Okay, we're finding support within that. That is just, I love how that just kind of holds the structure like that. This downtrend, I don't know why is that there like that. That's just annoying. That is the downtrend. I mean, I guess we could, if we wanted to, say it's right here. Yeah, probably. That is our downtrend line. This is our uptrend line, and we're kind of getting close to the intersection here. What happens here? On that day, we have a new moon. No, not a new moon. It's a new moon phase, but it's a full moon. I don't have the moon phases on here. At a market bottom, what happens? When you have a full moon, it generally trends up. Had that happen here. And then at new moons, you typically kind of sell off a little bit. We did not experience that. Getting some divergence in the moves here, so they should be correcting. And so we should see again, during a new moon, you don't you mostly will trend down. The bias during a new moon is for prices to fall. Um, Now, obviously they don't work out 100% of the time, but they are pretty damn accurate. I think the Bank of England did a study where they would have, if they followed this model of just buying on full moons and staying flat, not taking any positions or taking profit or selling out totally during new moons, you beat the index averages by like 30 some percent over a certain number of years. So just looking at it from that perspective, this new moon phase, trending lower prices, and if they don't, it's very hard to go to the inverse of that moon phase. So, if it doesn't trend down, it mostly kind of trades flat. And look, we've really kind of had that happen here. We've really kind of had a flat move. And so we're getting close to this new moon, and I was doing some research on some alternate forms of price analysis in cryptocurrencies. Financial astrology, it's weird stuff. I know, it's weird stuff. Most people disregard it. I think that is dangerous to do. But as somebody who follows Gann's trade philosophy and his studies and his day counts, it's more crazy than that. But financial astrology is interesting. Right on the time of this new moon, there was also what's called a Mars-Saturn aspect. And a Mars-Saturn aspect is extremely important for some markets. Like, I'm getting babbling here, but Mars-Saturn is especially important in foreign currencies. And so there's really nothing written on cryptocurrencies and financial astrology. There's not a lot, or any. I've not found anything written on it except for lunar cycles, which I've talked about. So I'm gonna delve into this quite a bit, because when I was doing some research, while my wife and her friend were watching some Survivor, I was upstairs, not working, but researching, and I found out that the Mars-Saturn aspect has showed up frequently at market tops and market bottoms in Bitcoin. And the most recent powerful one was on the 18th of December. There was a Mars-Saturn aspect that showed up on the exact same day as a new moon, and that was pretty telling. Now, when aspects show up, they don't move right on that day, okay? It's not, they don't operate like that, but they will move within 3 to 10 days. And the last Mars-Saturn showed up on the 22nd. That one showed up again. And so 10 days from the 22nd is where we're looking at a full moon starting. So yesterday we also ended that 99th day in Gann's day counts from important highs and lows. So that is very, very important to watch out for. Real quick, I'm seeing a lot of activity. So we should see, what I'm saying is that we're going to see a reversal. I mean, that's the most probable thing that's going to happen, is that we see a reversal in price. If not, there is the next bias, just obviously is a bearish one, because there is a bias for lower prices. And if that happens, we're talking about a total capitulation of this entire price zone, and we're talking about, sub 2,000 level prices. But think about it this way. Even if we get to 3,000, Bitcoin is still 100% above. It's still a 100% gain from a year ago, year to date. So just think about that. I think that's a little outside. It's not, well, I'm not going to say that. It's certainly not what's showing up in our forecasting using Gann's stuff. So just be careful and aware of that. Real fast, want to go check out what's happening in our trades that we took. Euro dollar falling down beautifully. The dollar yen, certainly gonna have a little struggle up here. It's up 76 pips. It's just crossed above 106. Without a lot of battle. And then look at the pound dollar. We are getting that nice fall down here. That's nice to see this coming into play here. And our New Zealand dollar trade is playing out very. This is looking really great. Yeah, we're below the 8-hour cloud, and even on the 4-hour, the lagging span is still below that cloud. So we should have a nice hodl here, as the cryptocurrency traders call it, hodling, when you hold something. Stupid. Anyways, so great trades going into from Monday to Tuesday and Tuesday to Wednesday. I think we're gonna have some great trade opportunities. We're gonna get a lot of big moves and some counter trends finally happening now, and we're really gonna be adjusting the entries to go along with this new trend change. Whereas over the last month or so, we've been doing a lot of counter trend trading because the current trends have been getting too far extended, often parabolic in shorter time frames. The participation has gotten weaker, so we know that this kind of activity is going to show up, and we're going to be able to get into some great trades. If you always wonder how do I get into trades early? How can I start trading the trends when they're about to turn over? Well, that's what we're doing right now. So, anyways, sorry to babble on there for a little while, but you guys have a great Wednesday, and we will see you tomorrow morning. Bye bye.